Welcome back to the Now Morning Show. Joining us in studio is Frederick, artist, I would say extraordinaire. Of course, as we continue our collaboration with the Art Society of Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning, Pat, and welcome.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure to have you with us on the show this morning. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing good, yeah.
Well, clearly by the work that we see displayed, you're doing more than fine. Tell us a little bit about your approach to art.
My approach to art right now, it's about the fabric. Using fabric for to make art instead of using paints and you know things like that. My approach is I'm not too sure how to answer that one.
I'm curious as to why you choose to use the fabric.
Okay, yeah, no, that's good. That's I chose to use fabric because I love fabric.
Right.
First of all, I have my my degree in clothing and textiles. However, textiles, I was teaching textiles for a very long time also. Textiles is what I was doing is very technical, you know, laboratory work and so on. And somewhere along the line, I think it was somewhere around, I'm not even too sure what year it was, maybe 2000 or something like that, I thought, well, you know, I could make fabric into art, not just things like tie-dye and so on, you know, but just use the fabric to make a piece of art. And I just been on that since then, you know, just enjoying it and doing the various types of using fabric, you know, including things like quilting and embroidery and I can't name all of them.
But when you produce the pieces of art, is there a statement that you're trying to make when you do it, or is it that you're just checking to see what would work well together and make different?
Both. I don't just do that. Sometimes there's a theme. In particular, Rotunda Gallery, you know, Art Society also, right? If they have a show and there's a theme, then I work with that theme. The Rotunda Gallery, since 2020, yeah, I've been exhibiting because they have kept me alive. You know, they really kept me alive, and they have a theme, and that's what I work with the theme. Other than that, and maybe it's just imagination. Sometimes I just see a piece of fabric that I like, and I say, what can I do with this?
So you go looking for fabric. You like pass through all the fabric stores just on a regular basis.
Just no. That too. But I have fabric. My whole house is full with fabric.
Oh, you live in a cloth store, all right.
I live in a cloth store. Somebody told me they could come by me and buy fabric, right? But I've gathered it through the years, you know, and so therefore it's like it's almost like paints. When you go to paint something, you could choose what colors you want. Well, it's the same thing. I have to go through my stash.
Okay, stash. I like it.
It's a big stash.
Yeah.
And go through the stash and then choose what I want depending on the theme.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of the fabrics and stuff, I also understand that you have a nice collection of just found items that you include in the art as well.
Yes, that too.
Yes. So, all right. Let's get into some of it. This one over here behind me is called Ovum, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it's called Ovum and Celebrating Womanhood.
Oh, nice.
Do you have any found pieces in here that you incorporated?
In that piece?
Yes.
No, not really. But I have a lot of beads. I also collect beads.
Okay.
And so on. So I put beads, and then it has embroidery and so on. But that was from a Rotunda exhibition also, right? And I tell you a little secret about that one. That is a picture of the South Pole of Jupiter. What?
Okay.
If you think about it, I don't know if you can think about it, but that's where I got the idea from, right?
Okay.
It's just that I saw through NASA the picture like that, right? And I said, but I could do something with that. And then along came this thing about womanhood and so on, and I said, but it looks like an ovum, you know, and there is actually an egg coming out on one side of it.
Fascinating. Absolutely amazing. Let's go to the next one, the black hole in social media. Share a little bit about that with us.
Black hole. That one is really a lot of embroidery. I tend to go through phases, you know. So there's one point in time I do a lot of pieces that had embroidery on them, and that was just one of them. I'm not even sure what made me think of doing it like that. I really do. Sometimes I just don't know, you know. So I decided just embroider and go round and round and round and round, and that's what I did, and that's what came out. I named it afterwards.
Oh.
I didn't think of what it was. This happens sometimes, you know,
Nice. All right, so tell me about Old Lace and Perambulator.
Well, that one is my brother, and that picture was taken about 1947 or 48. And you see the old pram? and
they're going to get to see it here now. Look, the pram showing up here. So this is the pram, and
that's the pram.
And this is your brother in the pram.
In the pram, yeah, where he was a little baby. Now, the thing is that I was doing a series of on my family.
Okay.
Because I've done one on me and one on my sister. But this one has, the picture actually has the fowl coop behind, because in those days we used to keep fowl coop.
Okay.
And then on top of that there's a cherry tree we used to climb. And so everything has a kind of a little remembrance. And there are pins, safety pins, and those pins are reminiscent of the fact that in those days it was cloth diapers.
Yes.
And the buttons are for what?
Didn't have zips
or
zippers.
Okay.
At least it did, but it was clunky ones. Yeah.
So let's talk about this next one, Earthrise from Mars.
Yes. I can't remember. I think that one was also something to do with rotunda. I can't remember the exact thing it was. But I went and I decided that I was going to do something with Mars. And I went on the NASA site to get the correct colors, because they had landed on Mars, right? And they landed on Mars, and I went on that site and got correct colors, went into my stash of fabric and then found all the colors that I could use. I thought at the time that it was, well, you know, we have to be able to see Earth from Mars, right? So when I went on the site, I noticed that Earth was not like how I have it here. That's artistic license. Earth was a little tiny dot of light.
Yes.
Of course.
Right? But I put Earth in on that. And if you look very closely, you would see there's a dot on the Earth, and that's Trinidad.
Ah, boy.
Very
Yes,
good.
actually, I see the whole continent and everything. But I find it very interesting that you have two pieces that are kind of like outer space pieces, right? Because you said this one, it was Jupiter, and this one is Mars. Do you have a fascination with space?
I have a fascination for space. You're so right. I do. You know, I think I got that from my mother. She always used to teach us the stars and whenever there was moonlight.
Well, Pat, let me thank you so very much for joining us this morning and for lending us your work. If you don't mind, we want to keep it for the week so that we can show it to everybody for the week.
Fine, yes.
Thank you so very much.
And thank
Ladies
you,
and gentlemen, Pat Frederick, who joins us on set. Her work is going to remain for the entire week, so thank you very much to the Art Society of Trinidad and Tobago and to our artists on set for the week, Pat Frederick. We take a quick break and we come back with more. Stay tuned.